There is something that every man does when he is truly in love, something he would never do if he were merely interested or just spending time with you. And the difference is so striking that once you understand what it is, you will immediately grasp why so many women confuse superficial interest with true love. After years of observing how men behave when they are genuinely in love compared to those who are merely exploring their options, I discovered a pattern that always repeats itself, without exception. And I'm not talking about the obvious signs everyone knows, like texting daily or constantly wanting to see you. I'm talking about something much deeper and more revealing. The truth is, we men learn very early to build emotional walls. We are taught that vulnerability equals weakness, that a real man does not show his fragility and must always remain in control. That is why it is a powerful, though silent sign when a man begins to tear down these walls in your presence and shows you parts of himself that he normally keeps hidden. It is an unspoken message about what you mean to him. However, what hardly anyone understands is this: when a man is truly in love, he stops trying to impress you and starts trying to genuinely connect with you. He lets go of the need to appear perfect and shows you his true humanity. And this manifests in very concrete behaviors, which I want to share with you now, because recognizing them can fundamentally change the way you see men and relationships. The first, and perhaps most impressive, is that he starts talking about his failures and vulnerable moments from the past. And I don't mean the superficial confessions people make on early dates, but the deep stories that live within us like emotional scars. When a man tells you how he once made a fatal decision, how he ruined a relationship out of immaturity, or missed opportunities because of fear or pride, he is doing something revolutionary in male thinking. He is showing you that he trusts you so much that he is willing to give up the image of strength he has so painstakingly built. Because let's be honest, we men constantly try to prove that we are capable, strong, and trustworthy. Talking about our failures completely contradicts this image, but when we are truly in love, when we find someone who we want to know us entirely, this need to appear infallible disappears. And here it gets even more interesting. A man in love does not only talk about his past mistakes, he also opens up about his current and future fears. He tells you about the insecurities that keep him awake at night, about his self-doubts, about his fear of not being enough for you or for the life he wants to build with you. This is a clear difference from the behavior men show when they are only interested. In those cases, we show confidence, avoid any hint of insecurity, and present only our best side. But when we truly love, when we want to build something real, we understand that authenticity is more important than perfection. We realize that a genuine connection can only be created when both people know each other fully, including their weaknesses. This transformation in male behavior is fascinating to observe. A man who once tried to appear invincible suddenly begins to admit that he does not have all the answers, that he sometimes feels lost, that he needs support and understanding. And he does this not because he has become weaker, but because he has grown emotionally. He has realized that true strength lies in being able to be vulnerable with the right person. One of the most beautiful ways this shows is through humor. A man in love does not only share his successes with you, but also his most embarrassing moments. And he laughs about them with you. He tells you how he humiliated himself in front of many people when he said something completely inappropriate, or how clumsy and foolish he felt in certain situations. And he does this because he no longer needs a perfect facade in front of you. When a man can laugh at himself with you, at his weaknesses and embarrassments, and not feel any less manly, then you have created for him a safe space where he can simply be human. And that is exactly the space we men search for our entire lives, but we only open it for those who truly matter to us. What makes this shared humor even more meaningful is the fact that it creates a very special form of intimacy. It is not the humor used to impress or to lighten the mood. It is humor that comes from absolute trust, from knowing that the other person accepts you even in your most unglamorous moments. It is a humor that says, I let you laugh at me because I know you don't judge me, you love me. But there is something even deeper that happens when a man is truly in love. And that is the way he starts talking about his childhood and his family. This area is highly sensitive for most men, especially when it involves pain or unresolved issues. When a man begins to tell you about his relationship with his parents, about complicated family dynamics or formative childhood experiences, he is doing something extraordinary. He is giving you the keys to understanding his emotional roots, his behavior patterns, his reactions, his fears. He is letting you see the boy he once was, so that you can better understand the man he is today. And we men do not do this lightly. We do it when we want someone to truly understand us, when we want that person to know where we come from, so that they can walk with us towards where we want to go. This openness about the past is often linked with pain. He might tell you about an absent father, an overprotective mother, family tensions, unfulfilled expectations, or a love that was never returned. When a man shows you these old wounds, when he allows you to see his deepest scars, he is saying, "I trust you so much that I am willing to risk you rejecting or judging me for them." What many women do not know is that talking about family and childhood requires enormous emotional courage from a man, because it is about the experiences that shaped us, about injuries that still hurt, about patterns we might only now be beginning to question. When we share this, we are not just giving you information, we are giving you the inner compass that explains why we feel the way we feel, why we love the way we love, and why we react to certain things the way we do. And here we come to one of the clearest signs that a man is truly in love, the way he talks about you. I'm not talking about general statements or cliches, but about the ability to express precisely what you mean to him, how your presence affects him, which aspects of your personality have uniquely conquered him. A man in love can tell you exactly why you are special to him. Not just that you are special, but how. He describes what he feels when you do certain things, which of your gestures move him, how you have changed his perspective on specific topics. This also includes expressing his fears, such as the fear of losing you, the worry that he is not good enough for you, or the insecurity that you might find someone better. These fears might seem like weaknesses, but in truth, they are evidence of how much you mean to him. A man is only afraid of losing something that is truly valuable to him. And he only wonders if he is good enough when you play a deep role in his life. If he has the courage to share these fears with you, openly, without a mask, he is showing a level of trust and emotional commitment that goes far beyond mere interest. The difference in how a man in love talks about you compared to one who is merely interested is huge. The interested man says things like, "You're pretty, you're funny, I like spending time with you." The man in love says, "I love the way you laugh when you're truly happy. I admire how you treat people who are going through hard times. Your presence calms me after a stressful day." These details are not random. They show that he is truly paying attention, that he is really observing you, that he not only enjoys your presence but understands your essence. It is the difference between someone who appreciates your company and someone who studies your soul, because he wants to know you completely. And perhaps one of the strongest signs of real love is when a man begins to share his deepest dreams and goals with you, especially those that make him feel vulnerable because they carry the risk of failure. We men tend to keep our biggest dreams to ourselves because failing publicly hurts more than failing silently. To say that you have a big goal also means admitting that you could fail, and this contradicts the image of the always capable man. So when a man tells you about a project he has always wanted to realize, about a career change he is pursuing, about personal goals that both excite and frighten him, and especially if he includes you in these plans or wants to hear your opinion, he is doing something that goes against his natural instinct for self-protection. He is risking his image as a successful man to share his most intimate vision of the future with you. And here is something many people do not recognize. When a man includes you in his future dreams, when he talks about plans that involve both of you, when he wants to hear your thoughts on important decisions, it is not just politeness or consideration. It means that you have become a central part of his life vision. You are no longer just a beautiful addition to his life. You are a foundation for the future he wants to build. This inclusion in his dreams and future plans is one of the deepest ways a man can express his love, because it shows that he sees you not only as part of his present, but also as part of his future. He is saying, "When I imagine the years ahead, you are there. When I think of my future successes, I imagine celebrating them with you. When I think of challenges, I see you by my side as we overcome them together." And this becomes even more tangible when he not only shares his dreams with you, but also the insecurities connected to them. When he confides in you that he sometimes doubts whether he has enough talent, whether he has the courage to take the necessary risks, whether he is making the right decisions, he is revealing extraordinary trust. Because he is not just showing you the confident man he wants to be, but also the insecure man he sometimes is. This form of vulnerability requires enormous courage, because a man who shows you his deepest doubts about his own abilities, his fears of failure, and his uncertainty about his life path, he is baring himself to you, hoping that you will see his humanity not as weakness, but as depth. And he does this because your support, your understanding, your presence are so valuable to him that he is willing to let go of the image of the controlled man to create something real with you. Yet there are moments when this male vulnerability reaches even deeper dimensions, and that is when a man shares his most emotionally significant pains with you. I am talking about those experiences that truly shaped us: the loss of a loved one, deep disappointments and betrayals, phases of depression or despair, moments when we felt completely lost. When a man tells you about these things, when he allows you to share in his deepest emotional scars, he is doing something that requires absolute willingness to trust. He is showing you the moments when he was most vulnerable, most fragile, most human. And that is not something men do lightly or often. It is something we only share with people with whom we feel completely safe, with people we deem worthy of knowing our broken parts. This openness is so significant because these moments of pain are often the ones that shaped us the most. They are experiences that changed our view of life, that taught us lessons we would otherwise never have learned, that made us stronger, but also more sensitive to our own fragility. When a man tells you about these things, he is giving you access to what shaped him at his core. And it is not just about telling the story. It is also about what it did to him, how it changed him, what he learned from it, what fears or insecurities remain. It is his way of saying, "I want you to not only know what happened to me, but how it made me who I am today. I want you to know my wounds because they are part of me. And if you want to love me, you have to love all of me, including my cracks." This form of trust shows itself in a particularly powerful way when a man talks to you about his mental health. In a society where men are still expected to be emotionally invulnerable, admitting to anxiety, depression, or feeling overwhelmed is an act of extraordinary courage. When a man tells you that he has gone through mental low points, that he sometimes feels overwhelmed by the world, that he needs emotional support, he is breaking through one of the strongest walls of traditional masculinity. By doing so, he is telling you that he trusts you so much that he is willing to show you the moments when he was not the pillar of strength expected of him, but simply a human being who was tired, exhausted, or afraid. What makes this so special is that, in doing so, he is actively destroying old images of masculinity to create something real with you. He is choosing true connection over social recognition, emotional closeness over facade, vulnerability over control. And this choice is never easy for any man, because it contradicts everything we have been taught about how we are supposed to be. Yet here lies the true beauty of it all. When a man makes this choice, when he decides to show you the sides of himself he usually hides, he is not just being vulnerable with you. He is laying the foundation for a relationship that can withstand any storm, because it is based on the complete truth of who he is, not on an edited version designed to impress. And when this happens, when a man opens up to you in this way, you must understand that you are witnessing something sacred. You are witnessing a man choosing authenticity over image, real connection over superficial impact, emotional closeness over safe distance. You are witnessing someone who has decided that you are worth the risk of being fully seen, with all his weaknesses and imperfections, because this is the fundamental difference between a man who is interested and one who truly loves. The first wants to be admired. He wants you to be attracted to him, to desire him. But the second, the man in love, wants to be known. He wants you to understand him, to love him for the person he truly is, not for the person he pretends to be. The interested man will always maintain a certain emotional distance, keeping parts of himself hidden, maintaining certain walls to protect his image. He will only show you the sides that are easy to love, that require no patience or deep understanding, that cost him nothing emotionally. But the man in love does the exact opposite. He opens all the doors to his inner world. He shows you his contradictions, his inner battles, his weak moments, his biggest dreams, and his deepest fears. He lets you see not only the man he is in public, but also the man he is in private, in his sleepless nights, in his phases of insecurity, in his inner crises. And here lies the deepest truth. When a man opens up emotionally in this way, he is doing far more than just sharing personal information. He is inviting you to a level of intimacy that goes far beyond the physical or romantic. He is giving you access to his inner experiences, to his private battles, his most sensitive dreams, his deepest wounds. He is telling you, without words, that he is not just looking for a romantic partner. He is looking for a life partner, not just someone to share the beautiful moments with, but someone to go through the entire journey with, including the fears, doubts, and vulnerabilities that are part of being human. This is the deepest invitation a man can offer you, the invitation to truly know him and to be truly known yourself. It is the invitation to create something that goes far beyond physical attraction or superficial compatibility. It is the invitation to build a connection that grows stronger over time instead of fading, that becomes stronger through challenges instead of breaking, that is built on the complete acceptance of the real self. And this is the realization that can fundamentally change the way you see relationships. Because when you recognize these signs, when you truly understand what it means when a man opens up like this, you will no longer settle for superficial connections. You will begin to value and seek out true emotional intimacy, because you know that it is exactly what forms the foundation of a relationship that truly lasts. You will stop being impressed by grand gestures or beautiful words, and instead recognize the true value in the man who has the courage to show you his real self. You will understand that true intimacy is not found in perfect moments, but in real ones, in difficult conversations, in the ability to be vulnerable, and in the willingness to hold the other's vulnerability as well. Therefore, if you are experiencing this with someone right now, if you recognize these behaviors in your relationship, then know that you have found something special. It is rare for a man to have the emotional maturity and courage to open up to this depth. Not every man is ready to give up his image of strength for the chance at a real connection. Not every man has the emotional intelligence to realize that true strength lies in being vulnerable with the right person. And if you haven't found someone like this yet, don't give up. And never settle for less, because this kind of connection does exist. And when it comes into your life, you will immediately feel the difference between someone who wants to impress you and someone who truly wants to know you. Between a man who sees you as a conquest and one who recognizes you as his emotional home. Tell me in the comments if you have ever experienced something like this, if you have recognized these signs in a past relationship, or if this text has given you a new perspective on how men show their love. Your experience can help other women better recognize these subtle differences and feel when they are truly standing before someone special.